You're listening to the Better Relationships After Baby podcast, where I believe your relationship can be stronger than ever after having a baby. It just takes tools, conversation, and support to help you get there. I'm Chelsea Skaggs, certified life and relationship coach, mom of two, and survivor and thriver of tough relationship challenges after babies. I'm committed to helping couples just like you improve your communication skills, connection points, and personal confidence so that you can have the life and family you've always dreamt of. Now, let's get to today's episode. Hello, parents. Welcome to today's episode of Better Relationships After Baby. It has been a few weeks since we've dropped a new episode. When I started this podcast, I knew I wanted to get 10 episodes in so that you could binge, so that we could get to know each other. And then I took a little break so that I could put together our next offering and the next way to grow and connect and get support on the parenting journey. And I'm going to be sharing a little bit about that with you on this special episode today. So I hope that you've had the chance to listen in to our past episodes, our past guests, and our past strategies. Some of those things you're going to hear about a little bit more today as we talk about the power of work in a group and what it can mean for a new mom to be in a small group setting when it comes to coaching. Now, some of you may and some of you may not know what my background is, why I started this podcast, and why I started my company in the first place. And I want to give you a little bit of that information before I tell you what we're up to next, so that you have some context and so that we can be a little bit of closer friends as we think about how to continue the journey together. So, for those of you that may not know, I started the coaching journey about 5 years ago. But my initial introduction to coaching was actually through network marketing, and I can't even say it. Oh my God, you guys. Weight loss and fitness through a specific network marketing company. Now, I do not align with pretty much any of the values that I learned and was first introduced to. But in retrospect, I'm thankful. I'm thankful that I went through that open door and I learned what it meant to operate business on an online space. And during that, I learned the power of a group. So, way back in those days, and this was, I don't even consider this life coaching, you guys. This was before I got certified as a life coach and before I got into doing coaching on my own terms. This was a lot of following a prescribed program that was passed down to me. But the value that I did take away from that, again, was the power of groups. People achieve goals in groups. People achieve goals with accountability. They achieve goals with conversation. It is so impactful to have other people going through similar experiences. Groups are where we come alive. And as women, I believe we are often taught that groups are competitive, or that other women are competitive, or that we have to perform a certain way, or that there's this constant comparison. We have been taught and bred to be in comparison with one another, as if there's not enough space at the table for us to all be hella successful and do really cool shit. The reality is that there is plenty of room at the table for all women. And I want us to think about that and consider that and how we can tap into that as I talk about the power of groups. So, again, my very first introduction to online business and marketing and bringing people together was in accountability groups. And as I said, I don't have the same values and I don't prescribe to a lot of the teachings I was originally introduced to, but I am thankful that I entered this space understanding how to run a group, how to facilitate a group, and the power of bringing people together with similar goals and similar circumstances and helping them to have growth and achievement together. Once I stepped outside of that network marketing company and decided that that was not the way that I wanted to deliver messaging and community to women, I continued to keep with me, how can I do this in a way that feels more aligned with me and that feels more impactful and authentic, but continue to do it in a way that brings people together? So, over the past 3 years, I have been providing small group coaching. And some of you have been here from the beginning. I originally named my business Postpartum Together. The emphasis on together, together with a coach, together with other moms, together with your partner, together with your community. I ended up changing my business name essentially because I had to do a lot of teaching around the word postpartum. You guys, I had people who were like, oh, no, 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 I don't need to work with you. I'm not depressed. And I was like, boo, postpartum, you don't have postpartum. Some people have postpartum depression, but you are a postpartum woman. And I won't get into that today, although that should be a future podcast episode because I'm super passionate about rewriting that script. But fast forward, I decided to name my business something different and name my group something different because I didn't want people to feel like they weren't invited or that they weren't supposed to be a part of it because they didn't identify with postpartum depression, which is not my specialty. Um, if you are someone who's dealing with postpartum depression, I can always send you some incredible resources. And I know some wonderful people who are just so good at showing up in that space. But my main intention has always been the togetherness of the season of life after baby, which is called postpartum. But I started my coaching with small groups. And it was always groups of 5 to 10 women where we work through 12 weeks, 3 months of time together. I can say that my groups have grown in really incredible ways since that very first one. Although my OG group, I love you guys so much. And you were the first, and we learned so much together, and we had so much growth and excitement and tears and laughter, and every group has included that. But as I'm talking to you today about Motherhood Uncovered, the next group coaching opportunity, I want you to know that it is built on those same foundations, those same things that I discovered and learned were a huge gap in support and care and discussion in life after baby. And they are paired with now 3 years of ongoing research and learning and skill building and strategy, and what I've been able to take from the dozens and dozens of mom clients I've worked with. So, I want to tell you about Motherhood Uncovered. And this is the small group coaching program that is starting in September. We are starting our next group in September. And after that, there'll be another group starting in January. After that, there'll be one in April. So, as you can hear, it's a pattern every quarter. I launch a new Motherhood Uncovered group, but I haven't had the chance to share with you guys lately what goes on in these groups. So I wanted to let you in on that. So we're talking about the power of growing in a community. There's a ton of power in coaching in general, and there's a ton of power in one-on-one coaching. But there is something really special about group coaching and about growing within that community. And as I said, I've had dozens of women already go through small group coaching with me, but it's getting even better every single time because of the additional support and knowledge that has been accumulated. So, I want to share a couple of things that clients have said to me recently, and I want to share some wins of moms that I have worked with in the last few months. Recently, someone said to me, I realized how much power I have when I control what I can control and let go of the rest. Episode number 2, if that is resonating with you. She continued to say, this has allowed me to more fully enjoy my life and have less day to day stress because of the methods we've implemented. Hello, hello, hello. Yes. I want all of you to have more enjoyment and less day to day stress because of the methods, the insight, the learning we get to do together. Another mom said to me, I needed to find something to help me recover from the postpartum season, and it turned into wonderful friendships and an understanding of myself. This morning, I was reflecting on how far I've come, and I'm grateful to you for that. I've found peace in my life, and a lot of that is from the work we have done together. Oh, Mama, I love you. You know who you are. And having a place to recover from that season, I want to talk about that for a minute because the first 3 months of motherhood, in my opinion, and in my book, are pure survival mode. You're talking eating, sleeping, um, uh, milestones. Like you're really honed in on how to survive and how to keep that baby to survive. And I'm not saying that wham bam month 4, everything gets easy peasy. I'm 6 years in and I would not call it easy peasy, but I think there's a big difference between those early days of survival and then the like, oh my gosh, some of the fog is lifted. I can start to see myself a little bit. Holy cow, all of these things have changed. What do I do with all this change? Do I know who I am when I look in the mirror? Who's this partner? How do I fit into society? How do I see myself? So we're talking about those early survival days are that. And then after that, my group coaching is focused on coming out of that season and finding yourself, recovering from all of the changes. So I'm so thankful to that mama that she said that this was the space she did that. One more quote from a mom recently. I've found that motherhood isn't my full purpose. It's a part of my purpose. But in this group, I found how it's a piece of the puzzle. You guys hear that? But there's so much more to me. And I found ways to harmonize the different things I love so I can be a mom, but also be me. There is no shame in, you know what, if you're the person who feels like you are fully complete by motherhood, that is awesome and celebrated. And I honor that. If you are like me and you're like, cool, motherhood is an awesome piece, but it is not all of me. And I need to tap into and reclaim and reconnect to these other pieces of the puzzle that make up me. That is a huge piece of what we do in this group. So, a couple of the moms I've worked with recently have had some really cool victories in their life as we've been working together. One mom has been encouraged and found a way to take a mindful and intentional break from work so that she could be with her family, but still have ways to fill her bucket and her needs for professional and creative development. So, again, she's taken a pause, a mindful and intentional pause, but in our work together, we have found ways for her to stay connected to these other parts of her identity that are very important to her creativity, and her professional life. I've had another mom who has healed a years long wound and disconnect from her partner by finding ways to accept who he fully is and accept who she fully is without the constant desire to change one another. This has been super powerful because now they can connect in very authentic ways. I had a mom who got a promotion at work without sacrificing her overall values and time with her family. I've had a mom who has gone outside of her comfort zone to make new friendships on a meaningful level, not just the superficial conversations. And I had a mom recently who has had important, hard, but powerful conversations with her family members about boundaries and expectations and having room to be a person who is changing and growing. Do any of these sound like things that you want for your life? It doesn't have to be exactly the same as these moms. No two stories are the same. But what I want you to see is this common thread here, the thread of having the space to figure out who you are, how motherhood has transformed you, and where you want to go, and what it takes to get there. That is what we do through coaching. Now, I want to talk about a reality. Sometimes coaches are like, I have this magic method, or let me show you exactly how to do X, Y, and Z. And to me, that feels pretty cheesy. My approach is that coaching is very little about me, and it is very much about you. As a coach, what I do, like I look at this as my lifelong learning, you guys. Like I don't have a PhD in coaching because I don't think there is a PhD in coaching, but I'm always learning and studying. So as a coach, what I do is I have studied and developed strategies and ways to create spaces for you to show up, for you to have support, for you to have guidance to usher you through this transition and to bring together like minded women. I'm like the curator of the energy, of the approach, of the resources that give you the tools and the space to bloom and blossom and take off in ways that matter to you. I'm not a superhero, believe it or not. I'm not a magical person. Okay. I'm not going to like wave my magic wand. I am merely a vessel. That's how I see myself. The vessel for which women can have a connective, insightful experience. And I create the space and energy to do so. I know how to create online spaces. I know how to facilitate a group call so that everyone gets their voice heard and we're respectful and kind. Those are the things that I learned how to do really well so that you can come and show up. Also, I take off the heavy lifting so that my clients can get to the most important things. Often, when I look at someone and ask them, what's motherhood been like? Where are you on your journey? What do you want to change? It's like a deer in the headlights moment because there's so much so fast and it all feels so important. And what I do is I create a roadmap. I break it down into bite sized pieces. I take off the heavy lifting of figuring out what to do, when and where and how. And I deliver that to you so that you can do the work and the growth and the insight seeking that you need to show up. So, coaching has some very proven benefits in the community setting. And I want to tell you about why you might choose a group coaching setting over a one on one setting. First, this normalizes the experience you're having by hearing other people's stories and realizing you are not alone as much as you often feel you are. Most of the time, there are other people who are like, "Ooh, I feel that," or "I've been there," or "I totally get you." And you don't have to feel alone. Second, you can get ideas from one another as you share stories and ideas and your experiences. So these ideas bubbling up from one another and you get to take that and apply it to your own life when it makes sense for you. I'm not saying you like copy paste someone else's life and strategies and all of that. We're about finding your authentic journey, but you get to bounce the ideas off of one another and that can be really helpful. Next, you could build meaningful friendships with other women who are centered on your shared experience of early motherhood. So I attract a certain kind of mom. I attract a no bullshit mom, the mom who loves her kids, but also loves herself and wants to have time for herself and her partner and her growth and her friends. I attract the moms who don't want to be on autopilot, who want to continue to live in, enjoy life to the fullest. And so those are the kinds of people you're going to meet in my groups. And those are the people you get to build meaningful friendships with because you have that shared value and experience. If you're an introvert, groups have less pressure for you to respond right on the spot. They give you the space to listen and internalize and reflect and share when you feel like you're ready to share. And for the extroverts, groups give you a space to bounce your ideas and get feedback from other people, which can be really important to extroverts or external processors. In the community, I, as the facilitator or the guide, get to make sure that it stays balanced so that everyone has a space to respond in their preferred way. Another cool thing about groups is that you get to practice using your voice in a safe container so that you can then communicate more effectively to those in your life. So you have a place to practice conversations or to talk something out and get clarity on what you really want to say. Here's what I know about moms right now in this season, in the pseudo post COVID, but not really post COVID because it hasn't gone away, but 2022 motherhood, whatever that really means. We want to be more connected to other people in a meaningful way. We want to step away from social media as our main connection and place of information and have real insight and real conversations with people in the raw. We want to have space to slow down and listen to our bodies and our mind in the midst of changes and not be go, go, go all the damn time. We want to have affirmation and celebration for the things we're doing well when oftentimes people don't see that or don't stop to celebrate it. We want to get out of autopilot and comparison traps and be able to get clarity on what we really want out of life and this journey because life is short. Sometimes the days are hella long, but we get to step out of autopilot and really figure out what we want. We get to, or we need permission. We're looking for permission to think and care about ourselves and not everyone else's needs all of the time. And we're looking to have someone provide the structure and roadmap to take off some of the heavy load because it's all so overwhelming. Again, that's why I provide the structure and the roadmap and I facilitate for you so that you can show up and do the parts that are most impactful for you. So, how does Motherhood Uncovered fit this need? Motherhood Uncovered is starting mid September. So, I'm actually taking applications right now, and the group is capped at 10 women. So, I want you to be considering that. It is a 12-week group coaching journey. So, we're together for 3 months in this container. And it brings together women between 4 and 24 months after having a baby. So if you're in that time frame right now, this is perfect for you. If you're a brand new mom, then perhaps the January or April session is going to be best for you. If you are after 24 months, talk to me. Okay. So, a lot of these things are centered on the changes that happen in the first couple of years after having a baby. However, if you didn't have the space, if you didn't have the chance to process that, then this might still be a great fit for you to come revisit how the early days of motherhood shaped you and changed you and how to move forward from that. Because I value the safe space and the intimacy of the group, I want you to know that I screen each participant to make sure that they will be a good fit for the container and be able to hold high standards for our time together. As I mentioned, we have weekly themes that cover the most impactful transitions that women experience after having a baby. So, 3 years of working with just new moms, I've seen a lot of themes, I've seen a lot of overlap, and I am walking you through those 12 most impactful transitions, strategies, and tools to help you understand your transition and move forward. I provide the roadmap and guidance so that you don't feel overwhelmed. The last thing you need is something else to overwhelm you and to make you feel like you're behind. So I really guide you through this in a really intentional way. Our weekly meetings are your weekly place to chat and let down your walls where you don't have to perform for anyone. This is where you finally, after a long week, just get to show up, bring your truth, honor and celebrate yourself and one another as you work it out. These meetings are virtual, they're on Zoom, and we also have a private online community where we can chat in between our group calls. You are also provided a workbook and a weekly training that you can do on your own time throughout the week. Now, this is made to be short but powerful. I do not think that you have lots of extra hours to put towards this. So it's really important to me that you can make your time count for big leaps and insights in your life. So before the group starts, I will mail you your workbook. You will have a weekly training drop each week that correlates with the theme. The workbook, the trainings, and the weekly call all correlate with the same theme. So we're really doing some deep digging there. The workbook is really cool because you can go back and reflect on it in the future, or maybe share with your partner, or maybe share with another mom friend that has a baby down the road, or maybe in 25 years, you're going to share this with your own daughter as she prepares to become a mom. So many cool things there. Or maybe you just keep it for yourself. That's totally fine. I'm a coach who is also a mom. And I had two very different postpartum experiences. And I've had two very different experiences in the early motherhood season and what those first 2 years were like for me. I truly don't believe there's a right way. So I'm not here to tell you how to mother. I'm here to help you tap into your own intuition and desires and block out the other bullshit. I want to be like your bullshit radar and help you to focus on what's most important, not keeping up with social media, figuring out where you're telling yourself that you should do something, but it's honestly not serving you and you're just trying to fit a societal norm. Like, we want to be clear and intentional here. So this group, again, it's 12 weeks. It's your weekly space to come, to process. I make it easy for you to have big insights and big impact because I do the heavy lifting. I've structured this in a way where your brain is not going 25,000 directions, but you're able to stay focused and stay centered and do some of the powerful work. And my goal for you is that you walk out of this, one, having meaningful connections with other people, two, normalizing your experience and not feeling alone, and three, knowing who you want to be as a mom and knowing what kinds of things help you get there. I want you to be more connected to yourself, more true to yourself, more connected to your partner, to the family and friends that matter most to you, because you have the space to honor yourself. I want you to build the habits in that help you to take care of your brain, your body, your soul, your mindset in ways that will serve you in years to come, no matter if you have other kids, if you take other jobs, if things get rocky in your relationship, if you have, some tragedies in your family. Like, I want you to have the foundation so that you are the person that you want and need to be forevermore. So, if you want to see the themes that we work through, I think this can be an important next step. You can go to the WTFtrimester.com and click on Motherhood Uncovered, and you can actually see the 12 themes that we work through there. These are, again, impactful ways for us to process the changes of motherhood and have a strong foundation forevermore. I don't want any of you to be the woman that when the kids graduate and they're out of the house, you look in the mirror and you're like, I don't even know who I am because all I was for 18 or 20 years was mom. I don't want that to be you. I don't want you to be the person that in years to come, you think about how you let go of your goals and your dreams and the things that were really true for you in order to be a mom. I want you to be the person that's like, I took the time to process my changes and I took the time to get the support that I deserved and needed. And I was able to figure out how to make harmony in my life and enjoy it and live it fully and be aware of all the ways that motherhood changed me in hard ways and in really beautiful ways too. If you are someone who is interested in having one of these spots in the September round of Motherhood Uncovered, now is the time to talk to me. You can go to the show notes and book a call with me. You can go to WTFtrimester.com where you can find information and you can book a call with me. You can go on Instagram and DM me like, babe, we got to talk. And I, again, start with vetting everyone and making sure that you're able to make use of this space and feel safe there and offer safety and respect to everyone else in the group. And once we go through a quick conversation, if we decide it's a right fit, then we will get you set up and squared away to have one of those spots in the group to start getting the resources your way and really have some beautiful time together. So, again, groups of women do not have to be scary. This is actually a really cool, inspiring, empowering way that we can reclaim what it means to be women, what it means to be women together, what it means to be in community, and do that in a way where we grow. And when we grow, then that has an impact on our families. And when that has an impact on our families, that has an impact on our communities. And when there's a number of us having an impact on our communities because we are the women that we want to be and we're showing up fully, then the way that we do that has an impact on our society. And this is how we make a shift in the way that we see and respect and honor moms in the motherhood journey. And I want that for you. I can't wait to see the beautiful, amazing souls and work that's going to happen in this group. And I invite you to explore more by reaching out to me and letting me know that you're ready to talk about Motherhood Uncovered.